Hello and welcome to the Gigabyte Challenge number 7 here on HeflaTV 1. Well, right now we're going to have a best of 1 between Moscow 5 and Forgotten Fury's stack. I'm Grandis and I'll be your caster today here on HeflaTV 1, and well, I don't know, this should be interesting. All of the Gigabyte games today are going to be best of 1s, so it's going to be fairly fast and furious. We're starting here at give or take a little bit, 18 CEST, and we'll have games continuing on through 2130 CEST. So stick around, we should have some exciting Dota for pretty much the entirety of my morning, or probably your evening if you're joining us here. Well, as far as the draft, it's already started here from both of these teams. The bans are looking pretty vanilla. Faces Void Razor banned out by Moscow 5, Tinker Lycanthrope banned out by Forgotten Fury stack. Yeah, so no big surprises here. Scarlet Mage the first pick. Yeah, still plenty of heroes that are still left in the pool that Moscow 5 might be thinking of picking up. They could angle directly towards the push and maybe pick up Shadow Shaman Death Prophet as their opener. There's still plenty of great supports left in the pool, but instead they'll go ahead and opt for the Doom, and I'd expect a Shadow Shaman pick here. But honestly, there are plenty of good heroes left in the pool that Moscow 5 could go for. Yep, so let me just make sure that everything is working properly. As I am solo casting, it is a little bit scary sometimes if there are any technical issues, but it looks like everything is running as it should, and well, we are going to see that Shadow Shaman pickup coming out from Moscow 5. No big surprises there. It's going to offer them a lot of pushing power with the Serpent Wards, as well as just being a great all-around support, especially on the Dire side. Gives them pretty easy access to Roshan Pit, which is always nice, especially when you are drafting on the Dire side. It's something that you want to take advantage of. And well, as far as Forgotten Fury's stack, they will opt to pick up the Viper. A pretty good lane dominator, a natural mech carrier for their team. Also, no big surprises. Usually these first 4 picks are pretty vanilla, and this game is no exception. Although I'd love to see something crazy at this point in the meta. I don't know, your first 10 heroes that you usually see. First 8 bans as well as the first 4 picks are... Oh my goodness, I can't math, but first 12, rather, are pretty standard. Some teams have different picks that you want to ban out against them. If you're playing against Alliance, you probably want to ban out your Nature's Prophet. And it changes from team to team. But as it stands, usually these heroes that have already been banned out or picked are generally the ones that you want to be fearing. Tidehunter, Death Prophet, as well as Brewmaster all banned out currently. Moscow 5, I'm not sure exactly where they're going to put this Doom. He could go in a plethora of different positions, but more than likely we're going to be seeing an offlane Doom here coming out from Moscow 5. I don't know, on the Dire side, offlane Doom can be punished fairly heavily if you have a lane that can push it down very quickly. And, yeah. That's going to round it out as our last ban into the stage is going to be the Wraith King. Wraith King, I think he's still a really solid support and definitely would have fit with the Scarlet Mage. Scarlet Mage Wraith King as your supporting duo, it doesn't really get better than that. 10 seconds to go. I don't know, gives you a lot of good roam, gives you some good damage in the mid-game, but Batrider is going to pick up for Moscow 5. Now, Bat, an interesting pick. He's definitely fallen out of favor, but is going to probably fill their offlane position, bumping a Doom up to presumably a safe lane farmer, as sending a Doom mid versus Viper would be problematic. As far as the laning stage for Moscow 5, but this Batrider is going to be countered pretty hard by Forgotten Fury's stack, as they'll pick up the Vengeful Spirit, a swap quite possibly the premier spell at breaking the lasso, especially if you get off to an early start and you get your level 11 to increase the range on that Nether swap. Also, they have cute little lore thing going on with Scarlet Mage Vengeful Spirit on the same team. But I don't know, as a supporting duo, I think they definitely can work together with the Magic Missile to start things off, and after setting up with the Concussive Shot to get in range, you definitely can do a whole lot of hurt to individual heroes, and plenty of lockdown coming out from those two, a decent amount of roaming potential. I like it. I think that both of them are just really solid supports this current patch. Especially when you have something like the Batrider or potentially a Faceless Void that the Vengeful Spirit is playing up against. Quite possibly one of the best defensive supports with that Nether swap. Although when you are playing behind, sometimes those defensive swaps can be pretty much just sacrificing yourself. Moscow 5 instead are going to go ahead and pick up the Shadow Demon here. Another great defensive support. The defensive disruptions are going to be particularly good up against the Skywrath Mage. But other than that, I'm not really seeing the Shadow Demon pick here from them. it's going to make their lanes quite passive. Oh no, the Shadow Demon as well as the Shadow Shaman have some difficulty getting in range for their lockdown spells. Setting up with the Disruption is nice, into the Shackles, but they also don't do that much damage as a standalone group. And with the Batrider and Doom, unless Batrider gets a lot of sticky napalm stacks on a single target, they're going to have a bit of difficulty taking down heroes in lane. So this supporting duo, it's going to be interesting to see how they lane it. Yeah, Moscow 5's lineup is very focused on single target, and currently we haven't really seen what Forgotten Fury's cores are going to be. The Vengeful Spirit of Skywrath could be bumped into the core position, but we'll have to see with the next couple of picks coming up from them. Currently, it's just this Viper, and honestly the Viper, although doing it can be a legitimate strategy, especially if he is the mech carrier for his team, I don't know, he cares a little bit less than a lot of other heroes, just being naturally tankier, as well as potentially having other heroes that you might want to doom a little bit more. Yeah, so Forgotten Fury stack, they'll take their time and then pick themselves up this Centaur. Centaur's going to work well for them. It's going to give them a good escape mechanism. If somebody gets doomed, or if they get stuck by the lasso, you can try and run them out of there with the Centaur ultimate, and it's always something that is really nice to have on your team. It gives them a good blink initiator as well, especially on the Radiant side. Centaur can definitely make things happen, and the Shadow Shaman, Shadow Demon, Doom lane is really not going to put that much pressure on the Centaur. I'll eat a couple of Ether Shocks, but that's nothing a couple of Tangos can't fix. I mean, if the Doom does get the Centaur creep early on, maybe they'll have enough damage to get the Centaur, but still, I think he should be able to get experience at the very least without much trouble.
Reserve time.
So yeah, that's going to be the damage as far as the picks are here. And well, as I previously mentioned, these are best of one, so it's going to kind of be hard to keep track of all of the games that are going on and their respective scores. But as far as these two, I don't know, probably what I'll do is just mention each series one after another in the score command. But I don't know, we're waiting for Forgotten Fury's ban. They're eating through almost the entirety of their reserve time, eating down to about 20 seconds, and they'll ban out the Mirana. Now, Mirana definitely could have fit into Moscow 5's lineup, although it would have pretty much given nothing away as to their lanes, with the exception of the Mirana presumably going to be a farming core in one of the side lanes. But it is going to be a Kunkka coming out from Moscow 5. Now, Kunkka is an interesting hero in their draft currently. Usually when you have him with a Shadow Demon, you're going to say that the Kunkka is going to be a roaming support, but it looks like he's going to be taking up the mid position with an offlane Batrider and safe lane Doom. This is going to give the Shadow Demon and Shadow Shaman a lot more kill potential, as if you're able to set up that torrent guaranteed, as well as a boat later on, it's a lot easier to take down those targets. Even a Viper is not going to be immune from that. That said, if Centaur does get his early level 6, I don't know, I'm not sure they'd have enough lockdown to keep him in place without all three of them committed to the lane. We'll have to see. Kunkka's going to give them a lot more oomph inside their team fights. And, well, pretty much the first hero that's going to offer any AoE at all. Of note, really, that's not focused on wave clear. Yeah, so it should be interesting. Currently, Moscow 5 are, I don't know, pretty well-rounded as far as their picks. In the last pickup for Forgotten Fury stack is going to be this Morphling here. Now, Morphling, I don't know, Shadow Shaman and Shadow Demon definitely can get shut down by the Morphling, but they already have some great tools to keep this Morphling in place. I'm not sure why my camera is not panning out, but there we go. As we'll get into this lane and see how these are actually going to pan out for either of the teams, it is going to give Forgotten Fury stack quite a lot more late game, and I don't know, a lot of the heroes do scale decently well. In a late game scenario, I'm not sure exactly who I'd favor. Morphling, who's the only hero that's farmed up against a Doom, I'd probably say that Moscow 5 would be the favored ones there. But to introduce our teams, we are going to have LL exclamation point ×3 on the Morphling. Joey, excuse me, going to be playing on the Viper with Soloig, playing on the Skywrath Mage. The other support will be Mayro, playing on the Vengeful Spirit, which will leave last but not least Forgotten Fury himself, playing on the Centaur Warner. On the side of the Dire, we are going to have Nexus playing on the Shadow Demon, Kunkka going to be taken up by Tradata. We're going to have a Doom. Looks like he's heading towards the jungle, played by Blow Your Brain Shadow Shaman, going to be taking up the mid position. And with the starting items, which really aren't starting items at all, actually, he might be playing support. Looks like those are his Sentry Wards in the Courier. I don't know, very interesting choice to start out Shadow Shaman here. It looks like he's just going to be taking up the block for the Doom, while Doom looks for that first creep. That said, that will leave our off-lane Batrider, played by, oh my goodness, I'm going to completely butcher this name. Yeah, I believe that's Cyrillic, but, oh, I don't want to even try. Looks like Topotomy, but I know it's not. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so the Doom going to get spotted out early. The Magic Missile actually is going to follow through on Blow Your Brain. Are they going to be able to get in range for any more lockdown? They start out with a concussive shot, and that's going to be it. So Doom eats a little bit of harass, but that's going to be the sum of it. Is Doom is going to look for that first creep. He doesn't want to block those camps. Shadow Shaman did get the block early, and they'll give him the first lane, or first wave of experience. This is going to give Viper a fairly early start, and maybe they just leave the Shadow Shaman here. His first item is going to be boots up against the Viper, so it looks like that is going to be the lane choice. And while he might not be very happy for much longer, as the concussive shot as well as the magic missile coming through Vengeful Spirit could spell the death of the Shadow Shaman. I think he smells something is going on, and he's playing very defensively, or maybe he just wants to pick up his boots. And well, instead they're going to harass the Doom inside his own jungle. They pop the smoke, and while the Skeleton Warriors, no, gonna say no. Vengeful Spirit and Scarlet Mage going to save their mana, as Blow Your Brain is a fairly tanky target now that he has this level 2 Scorched Earth, also going to keep him safe. And Doom is just going to go straight into the jungle. No Quelling Blade. This is going to be not the fastest farm you've ever seen, but with the Skeleton Warriors that he's been spamming out, he's going to have a decent amount. But I don't know, Scarlet Mage as well as Vengeful Spirit want to interrupt this Doom as much as possible, and it's really going to slow down Doom's farm as a jungler, not the fastest, and might be in for a bit of difficulty. Leaving the Morphling 1v1 versus the Batrider I think is fine for them, but it might be giving the Batrider a little bit more than they bargained for. Currently looks like I'm lagging out of the server, and, well, a wonderful way to start our day. As, actually, we do get back in. Oh my goodness, this is looking like a slideshow. Hopefully that subsides. But yeah. We have a stun going the way Blow Your Brain, but they're going to follow up onto a Vengeful Spirit who is inside the bubble. The Torrent is going to land, and the Shackle's in place. It looks like Vengeful Spirit has overstayed her welcome in the enemy jungle, and in the end, gives up the first blood. It did draw the Kunkka off of his own lane, but in the end, definitely worth it. Nexus picks up that first blood gold, presumably going to go towards their courier upgrade and some early boots for the Shadow Demon. And while Kunkka up top versus the Centaur, Kunkka's actually not farming that well. I thought he'd be doing a lot better in this lane, but apparently not. He's just been roaming around a little bit too much. Had they not gotten that first blood, it would have been a complete disaster for this Kunkka, I would say, because he only has 2 more CS than Nexus on the Shadow Demon. Well, Scarlet Mage sitting up towards the top rune spot. Not sure what he's waiting for exactly. They might go aggressively onto Blow Your Brain. He's going to offer another slow. Yeah, the lag is real. As Concussive Shot goes away, Blow Your Brain. I think Blow Your Brain is going to be very dead here, as Viper should secure him with one more auto attack. And in the end, Doom just overstaying his welcome. Centaur going to dive in the top lane with a combo coming up from the Shadow Shaman as well as the Shadow Demon and Kunkka. It's fairly easy to lock down those single targets, and Centaur just getting a little too comfortable in this lane. And now Kunkka should be able to pick up a decent edge as far as CS is concerned. All said and done, Mafia 5, or no, Moscow 5, excuse me, are, I don't know, looking pretty good. But they will start off with a concussive shot onto Tradada. Will they be able to get in range? He drops the Torrent on the ground. It is not going to land on the Centaur. Was moved, or juked away by the Centaur, I should say. And, well, in the end, Kunkka is going to be just fine, although not looking too healthy in the mana department. Does have 3 stick charges, but that's not really going to do very much. And the lag continues here on the Europe servers. Usually it's not a problem at all, as Doom's going to get a kill on the Viper, and the Shadow Demon also not looking too healthy. A big rotation towards mid, and I wasn't actually expecting that, but with the bottle, Doom is able to sustain his mana and put that net to good use. Also find himself a double damage rune, so yeah, I thought Doom was just going to be farming away, as in mid they might be looking for war, but Shadow Shaman is going to be able to make his way to safety. No more Arcane Bolts. Going to be thrown out by the Scarlet Mage, and, well, Mayro as well as the Scarlet Mage are going to be fairly low on mana and can't really sustain this. And, well, Blow Your Brain is going to be taking up more of the mid-Doom position, as the Shadow Shaman has been roaming around for quite some time. Yeah, the bottom lane, we haven't seen very much of it at all, but the Batrider doing very well in this 1v1 lane, as the bottle just able to spam out that sticky napalm, and, well, there's not a whole lot that the Morphling can do about this, but then again, the Batrider's not really hurting the Morphling. Even if he got a lot of sticky napalm stacks onto the Morph, he'll just be able to waveform that one away, and be just fine, as up and top we might have a little bit of action, but the Kunkka is not without backup, has both supports behind him, and I don't think the Skywrath Mage, without the Venge, can actually do anything, but they are rotating the Venge up. This lane just isn't really the ideal place to gank, but Kunkka is going to walk very aggressively forward, potentially baiting something. I don't know, that was very weird. Start off with the disruption onto the Skywrath Mage, and they follow up on the Torrent onto 2 with the Eavesdrock. It's just too much damage, and well, the Skywrath Mage is going to be the one to give up the kill, and Centaur is going to be forced to back off, so in the end, a very awkward pathing coming out from the Kunkka is going to pay off after the Shadow Demon and Shadow Shaman are able to pick up a nice kill onto the Skywrath Mage, and immediately they smoke up, potentially going towards mid. I don't know. Getting a kill on mid is going to be very difficult for them unless they're able to get in range for the Shackles, which is definitely a possibility, but Vengeful Spirit might be the easier target as she does break the smoke. They don't get the disruption off in time. Both of them have boots, so in the end, that's going to be Ed. And, well, it looks like we're just going to have to deal with those little lag spikes coming here and there because that's probably just going to be part of it. These supports have been roaming very aggressively, but honestly, I don't think Skywrath Mage and Shadow Shaman can really get much done with unless they have the Kunkka in their lane. So I think top is where they should probably stay and potentially try to stack up the jungle maybe for their Morphling a little bit later on, and that could be a better usage of their time. Now with Phase Boots on the Kunkka as well as the disruption and Soul Catcher onto the Centaur. They don't drop the Torrent just yet, but it falls up from the Shackles, and they should have enough damage. He gets the Stomp onto Trotata, and he's under tower. He's going to fall to a couple more auto attacks, or will he? The poison's not going to be enough, and Centaur's going to survive with less than 10 HP, so in the end, I don't know, I underestimated their killing potential. I thought that, or overestimated, I suppose. I thought Kunkka would be able to get that last auto attack, but in the end, the cancel casting coming up from the Centaur was enough. Morphling falling very low in the bottom lane. But in the end, he's going to be just fine, as the Batrider is nowhere to be found, is actually rotating more towards the mid lane. Batrider not close to his Blink Dagger, or, well, he's fairly close, especially for an offlane bat, and the farm he's able to get, but there are no stacks, but he'll at least be able to farm up his own jungle and get very close to that. We should be seeing like an 8-minute or so Blink Dagger on this bat, which is amazing. Let's see if the trade-off they're getting on the Morphling is going to be worthwhile. Morphling's actually going to back off for the Aquila, as well as the Power Treads first, so not going to be rushing in towards anything like a Hand of Midas, and wants to be fighting around the map maybe a little bit more. Honestly, I would have liked to see a Midas on this Morphling, while the rest of his team is fighting, but we'll see. We'll see. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much farm you get if you do get doomed. Well, for now we go. And the other game is I need to check all of this stuff in the background, and well, it looks like the name that I struggled so much, the Batrider, I apologize, it's pronounced Throne. Well, thank you for that, and well, we'll make sure to notice that later on. He still doesn't have his Blink Dagger, but I don't know, they'll start with the turret on the Centaur. I don't think they have enough damage for this kill, but I don't know, Kunkka is going to trade hits with him. Honestly, not really coming out the best of it. Without his supports, he really can't do that much. The supports are currently down in bottom, soaking some experience, which is nice, especially with the Batrider off of the lane. Giving your Shadow Shaman, especially his level 6, is going to be important as they TP down into mid, as Blow Your Brain is getting gone on by the Viper. Defensive Disruption should keep him safe, and, well, Doom's going to bottle up anyway, and has those Tranquil Boots, a Tango, and, well, he should be just fine. Still, not the best lane if you are a Doom, and he hasn't been able to farm to his heart's content, really. Only about half of the farm of the Viper. Kind of as expected, but Devour making up a little bit for that. TP away from the Skywrath Mage, wants to make it go up and top, and it looks like they might be able to save this Centaur. Let's see, is the Concussive Shot going to come through? He's not in range currently, and I think he might have canceled that as he looks for a deny and actually gets it after the double edge. The Dark Troll Summoner going to secure that kill, so in the end, well played by the Centaur, and well, Shadow Demon is going to be the one to die in mid lane. Yeah, looks like Skywrath did cancel his TP, so in the end, a decent trade for the stack here on the Radiant side. Yep. I don't know, Kunkka We'll have to see what build he's going to go for. Popularized right now is going into the Battle Fury, then the Blink, and I quite like that build. It allows you to split push very effectively in late game, do a whole heck of a lot of teamfight damage, and I think Blink Dagger is just a better Shadow Blade, in all honesty. If you X-Mox yourself and then Blink, you have a way of getting yourself back out to safety, whereas with a Shadow Blade, you really don't have that luxury. You just kind of commit into the teamfight and you live or die. It's kind of all up to the other team, and that's usually not where you want to be, as they might make a move down into the Morphling and bottom. They have the Doom available, and if they're able to get this off, it could be huge, but they'll put the Blink Dagger to good use. Now the Doom on the Morphling. I don't think Morphling is getting out of there. That silence is going to last way too long, and through the fire and the flames, he should die, or will he? Yeah, the Doom damage should take him down at the very least, but let's see who gets the last hit. It's going to be Doom. Blow your brain. One more swing of his mighty sword, and they'll bring down the Morphling. So getting that early Blink Dagger is almost a guaranteed kill as they go back towards mid as they're dropping a boat onto the Skywrath Mage, but I don't know, Trinidad is kind of caught out in a very awkward situation with Centaur Ultimate also coming through. Silenced up, taking a lot of damage. The defensive disruption will come through. They drop the surfboards and shackle up Joey. Joey is going to be caught inside the surfboards and brought down by a torrent as well. The two supports are very low, and Trinidad is going to die to the corrosive skin. Shadow Shaman is going to be lucky enough to survive, and in the end, a 1 for 3 all across the map if you include that Morphling kill. Yeah, not sure if they really wanted to lose their Kunkka there, but in the end, still, Moscow 5 trading very wonderfully. And, well, for the first time after that team fight, I guess we'll take a look at the graphs. And, well, kind of as expected, it is going to be dipping very much in the favor of Mafia 5, especially after that last engagement. Although they haven't been farming the best on their heroes, their Batrider is doing wonderfully in the CS department. And although the Kunkka and the Doom aren't, they're still able to pick up quite a bit as far as that assist hold is concerned. And Devour also making up for a little bit of that. Let's see if this Batrider is going to be able to continue his path of just being a huge impact in this game. He has Lasso coming up from cooldown in a couple seconds. Where's he going to go after this? His Blink Dagger was a little bit slower than I thought it would be, mostly because of a failed gank up and top instead of just AFK farming.
Bottom towers getting the business.
But in the end, it pays off with a kill on the Morph. They are grouping up towards mid a little bit. They don't have the mechanism on their Doom just yet, and, well, neither does the enemy team, as it looks like Viper is going to be going for that one. Just sends the headdress towards himself after the Aquila and Power Treads. It's not going to be a very fast mechanism on Joey. Yeah, still a lot of lag issues for this server. It doesn't seem to be affecting the players, and I might have to reconnect as Kunkka gets killed on the Centaur. Yeah, that's very unfortunate. If that happens one more time, I'll go ahead and reconnect to the server, and, well, it's very difficult to do so, especially since I don't have a co-caster to give you some radio Dota while I'm out. In the meantime, Deny on the bottom tower, even more gold going to be taken the way of the Forgotten Fury stack, and one Morphling might be caught out with his pants down here. He's over by the small camp. Will they get the disruption? He's just going to straight up TP out. The cancel on the TP is going to come as they might be going up in top. The Blink Lasso has been spent, but it didn't net them a kill. Morphling will be able to walk away just fine as another tower deny comes out on top. So the tower denies as well as the tower score is going to be tied up, and, well, even more towers going down as, well, tier 1 tower down in bottom as well as the one in mid are also going to fall. So just like that, 4 of them are going to die. 2 of them being denies and, yeah, 2 of them being proper destructions. So I'd say that that's fairly even as far as the entire game is concerned. Morphling just hasn't really been able to find much around the map, and honestly the way he's playing, I'd like to see him, or would have liked to see him pick up the Midas, but inside the forest we might see an engagement here. Centaur leading the charge. He does have the Centaur ultimate. He is going to deploy it as they go onto the Shadow Doom. He's going to throw a defensive disruption, but I think that's going to be about it, as Nexus is going to be the one killed. Vengeful Spirit secures that with the magic missile, and in the end, not a whole lot that the Shadow Demon could do in that situation. Yeah, I don't think that Moscow 5 are going to be entirely heartbroken with how that last little bit went. Losing a Shadow Demon when you're running away from a 5-man group with Centaur Ultimate is probably about the best snap. And Trada is going to be tagged by a couple of poison attacks coming out from Joey. That's going to be about it. They jump on the Joey. They don't have a Force Staff available just yet, and they're just kind of holding him in place for the Torrent and boat to come through. And Joey, is he going to fall? The boat is actually going to go very far through him, and that might have just been the lag. They are going to slow it with the concussive shot, and the Hoof Stump is going to land onto Blow Your Brain. They are Xing him back, but they don't have enough follow-up lockdown to keep him in place. The Torrent is coming through, not going to land on anything except for that one range creep. That's really hating life at the moment, and, well, in the end, it's going to be a full group up coming out from Moscow 5, and they should be able to take this tower fairly easily. Super Ward's still on cooldown for a little bit less than 10 seconds, so they might not commit those to this tower. If they really want it, they might do so, but I think when you have this many heroes, it's not even worth it. Batrider going to go on the side, doesn't have lasso for quite a bit of time. Just going to lay some fire down in the trees. Honestly, I'd like to see him drop it in this vicinity. So the creeps would die that much faster. Potential deny coming out and will not be taking his skunk against the last hit. They purge up the Centaur Warner, and now they get the Torrent onto Joey. They don't follow up with any shackles. Sky Mage ulti is going to land on the Shadow Shaman majorly, and now Blow Your Brain is going to take a lot of damage from the Morphling Wave Forms. They gets a kill on the Shadow Shaman almost instantly. He's caught inside the Serpent Wars, however, now doomed up. They might be able to get this Morphling. The boat's coming through, not going to land on much of anything, but will give them the boat buff. They blink forward to the Batrider, but with no lasso and no force staff, not going to be able to chase anybody. So potentially overstaying the well, but no, the double kill Flame Break. It's going to come out killing the Centaur as well as the Morphling. I did not expect that to land so perfectly, but in the end, with 3 points into the Flame Break, Throne is going to take himself a very nice infusion of gold, tying up that trade 2 for 2. Well, I don't know, I wish I wasn't lagging so hard, but I haven't been dropped by the server just yet. So yeah, Kunkka going to be going for the drums, potentially. He is pooling quite a lot of gold and might just be going for the blink next, which honestly I think would be okay for this Kunkka. Being able to get in and out of the fights is always a great thing, although he is missing quite a lot of that damage. Let's see where his build is going to go from here. But yeah, after those fights, he has deviated. They're going to get slow in the Shadow Shaman. I don't think the Shadow Shaman's going anywhere. The Ancient Seal and Double Edge and a couple Arcane Bolts. That should be his death. And in the end, Skywrath Mage, not just that one on his belt. Shadow Shaman just unfortunately getting caught out in a very awkward situation. It will be the Blink Dagger for the Kunkka, kind of as expected, but I don't know, I like the choice. Kind of already brought that one up. Yeah, although I didn't talk about it in the draft very much, Skywrath Mage as well as Centaur Warner, a very good ganking combo. Centaur just offers so much magic nuke damage, and then when you add an extra 45% on top of that, it's absolutely ridiculous. And also with a Morphling, who's potentially going to do Shotgun later on, although his first item is going to be Lincoln Sphere up against Doom as well as Lasso. Definitely can understand this choice, although they have plenty of ways to break it as well. You have an X-Mark, you have the Shadow Demon, as well as Shadow Shaman with plenty of spells to go through that. So honestly, this Morphling isn't feeling that tanky, even with a Lincoln Sphere. Up in top, we have a hasted Batrider looking for blood. He has the Force Staff as well. They might go into the Centaur Illusion, but in the end, decide better of it, and, well, that's unfortunate. It's always fun to watch a Batrider with a haste rune pick somebody up and pull them halfway across the map, but instead, they might be going on to mid as Joey's caught out in a very awkward situation. Lasso is going to come through. He does have the remainder of that haste rune coming through. Just going to hold him in place for a Torrent boat to come through as well. It's going to drop Joey to about half, and now they're going to doom him up. No mechanism for them. Scarlet Mage ulti not really going to land on much of anything as Blow Your Brain is Force Staffed away. Kunkka going to X himself, then blink in. He gets the crit, or with that double damage, doing a lot of damage either way. But everybody going to be able to make it out alive, with the exception of Joey. Actually, Joey going to survive with that last tick. The 4 points to Corrosive Skin coming in huge there, actually. Yeah, so I was kind of hoping they'd be denied. Oh, I don't know. That would have definitely been a mistake coming out from the Forsaken 5-stack. But into the Roshan pit, Moscow 5, my goodness. Just been casting too much tier 2 Dota lately, and well, they'll go into the Roshan pit here, and it's a fairly fast Roshan, and with everybody forced to go back to base, they might not have what it takes to defend against this, but then again, they still have a Centaur that could jump in. I think Roshan's just going to fall too quickly, and in the end, looks like that is going to be the case. I wouldn't be opposed to them giving it to the Batrider, but I think that Trudadal is going to be the one to pull this one up. I don't know, it's going to be somebody different altogether as they kind of decide about this, and well, it is going to be Doom. Blow Your Brain, going to have a second life in the next fight, as we have a blink forward from the Batrider, not going to find anybody. Centaur is going to bump heads into the Doom. It looks like Blow Your Brain's going to lose his Aegis almost instantly, just blown to shreds by the magic nuke damage coming in from the Radiant team, and well, they have a Centaur Illusion behind that will also be brought down, so just the golden experience as Batrider blinks forward, not going to be able to find a lasso onto anybody, and that's going to sum up that very awkward engagement. Blow Your Brain just getting caught out in a very compromising position as the entire enemy team was waiting for him on that high ground, and it was very easy for him to be taken down. Lagging out a little bit. Okay, so at this time, I am going to go ahead and try to reconnect into this game. So this is unfortunate, but hopefully it fixes the lag issues. If not, well, I guess you just have to bear with me, as, I don't know, there's always something wrong with the Dota servers. Yeah, well, we're back into the game as they throw some torrents and actually are initiating almost instantly as I get back in, which is nice for us as they get a purge and they almost blow up the Skywrath Mage straight up. The Kunkka going to get that kill, and now they've also caught up Forgotten Fury, and he'll be the one to be brought down as well. And off of that, Moscow 5 should be able to take this tier 2 tower, especially with the Serp Wards committed. And while I don't think that the Radiant team really have what's left in the tank to defend against this Morphling, his game impact is going to be delayed too much, I feel. Potentially, if he went for the Midas, he would have been able to have an Ethereal Blade and Lincoln Sphere at a good timing, but now he's struggling to get the Lincolns about 20 minutes. So it looks like that reconnected absolutely Jack for the quality of the connection as they might be going on the Morphling. I don't know. It looks like they landed a torrent. Now the Doom straight on the Morph. No way he's getting out of this one alive. The boat's going to come through and he'll just be brought to death by the AoE. And now the Skywrath Mage also going to follow a similar fate. The Viper's running in here with the Centaur Warrener. He's going to force some people back, although a very aggressive move that might end up going punished. I don't know. Not sure if I like this. They're going to jump and get a double hoof stomp. That's a very scary place to be in. There's no mana on the Batrider for Lasso, however. They need some Arcane Boots usage, but they're still on cooldown as they do get the shackles from long range, that 4-step away. Not really going to do much in the end of the day. And well, Trada is going to be chased down by the Viper. I think he's dead. They have a defensive disruption, but that's about it. They 4-step away. Centaur ultimate. They're going to try to chase down this Kunkka. Defensive disruption is going to come at the last hour, and well, Kunkka going to be able to blink away outside of that disruption. So well played coming out from Moscow 5, keeping Trada alive there. Yeah, I don't know. Very, very well played by the supports. No, with the exception of that slag spike, it looks like we are looking a little bit better. I don't know, crossing my fingers, hoping to die. Well, Dradada going to find himself an invisibility rune. Going to be pretty big in the next couple of engagements. So this should be spotted out by some wards later on. At about 20 minutes in, it's probably time to look at the graphs yet again, and although the lead hasn't been maintained that well by Moscow 5, a little bit of dipping back and forth here and there, they still have a pretty solid one at 7,500 gold in their favor, and while the experience also almost exactly the same, doubling them up in kills, although their farming is looking a little bit less, or at least on par. That's where the advantage really lies for the Moscow 5. Up in top, they might be able to find a pick-off as they are. 3-man smoked up, and the Batrider has been spotted out. Or rather, no, that's a dire ward, but they're going to run into him sooner rather than later. It does pop. They look for the blink hoof stop. No. Fast reactions coming out from the Batrider. And, well, I'm not even sure if he saw him. Just blinking out, being generally pretty safe. So Throne is going to be just fine. Kunkka picks himself up a late drum's going to be fairly efficient as far as the items are concerned, and with no other drums on any other hero, I think this is okay coming out from him. In mid, that is going to be where Forgotten Fury's stack is going to lie, and well, they might be able to catch out this Morphling. He doesn't have his completed Lincoln Sphere, and won't have it for quite some time. Well, I say that, 300 gold. But that's pretty late. Usually at this time you want to have your Morphling thinking about getting his 2 big items, and really this Morphling hasn't exploded in farm. Nah, you'd at least want Lincoln Sphere as well as Ghost Scepters. They find out the Kunkka, they're trying to blow him up, but the split damage might be enough to save him. Will the right clicks be there? No, they won't, and they're going to lose their Centaur instead. Skywrath Mage not able to secure the kill on Trada. Now it's going to get doomed up. A lot of hate towards the Skywrath Mage, but Skywrath is going to die one way or another with the Blink Dagger. Trada is going to come back in, and, well, in the end, the tanking the damage and splitting that up between multiple heroes of the Skywrath Mage Mystic Flare going to end up saving the Kunkka's life pretty big there, and not sure if that was entirely on purpose, but in the end, that combined with the Kunkka rum buff just, I don't know, so strong in that last fight, ending up turning a potential pickoff on the Kunkka into a 2-0, and now a tier 2 tower for themselves. And Moscow 5, they're just taking these fights so well, and in the end, it's working wonders for them. I think had Forgotten Fury's stack had a different carry other than Morphling that might be able to contribute a little bit more, they'd be in a better situation as of now. And well, if they wanted to play this as a greedy Morphling and have the potential to have a really scary late game, they'd really need to go for some different items, but even then, you're still facing up against a Doom. We have a Viper Strike thrown the way of the Batrider, but with a Force Staff, he'll be more than fine, even though the damage will be annoying. Kunkka very aggressively in the enemy woods here, going to Torrent up. Well, Vengeful Sphere not going to land. That's pretty much going to give away that they had a ward there, but it was already dewarded by the Radiant anyway. Yep, something I really haven't touched on very much throughout this game is the ward vision, but for now, it's looking pretty lackluster as we only have one observer ward that I can see on the map over at that cliff, and honestly, it's not going to be used very much. Batrider looking for blood here. He is Fireflied up with the Blink Dagger 4-staff ready, and he's going to find the poor Skywrath Mage, and he's just holding place for the Torrent. Or will he? The Torrent actually doesn't land, but it doesn't matter as the damage is going to be enough to give a dominating spree the way of the Kunkka. Yeah, as far as Kunkka's next item is concerned, now that he is sitting on quite a lot of gold here, I wouldn't be opposed to a BKB, although I think going for damage, whether in the form of Battle Fury or just going straight into the crit, would be the better option for him. I'm kind of leaning towards Crystallis into Daedalus, and then you can decide from there what you want. Yeah. Viper, his time to shine is really almost over. The Viper Strike is going to be nice, I suppose, especially up against a Batrider. Keeping him in place as long as possible is going to be wonderful. Not sure if they have any other 4-staffs. Well, actually, no, they have a whole heck of a lot of 4-staffs. Each of the supports sporting their own pushing stick. And, well, the Shadow Shum's actually pretty farmed, to be honest. With the Blink Force Arcane Boots at 25 minutes in, he could have had a completed Aghanim Scepter, which, honestly, I would have liked to see him work towards the Axe instead of the Force, but it's still going to be a great utility item for him. And, well, more server hiccups as the Batrider looking for somebody. He's going to catch eyes on the Vengeful Spirit, and now 4-staff are away. They have other 4-staffs should they need to use them. It doesn't look like they will. Potentially a little bit of a mistake, but oh no, the damage is going to be totally there. As, well, Throne going to get himself that negative Vengeance Sword, but that's pretty much going to be the cost of that gank. And, well, Batrider finding himself another Haste Rune, which is really why they were able to bring her so far out of that base. Now Serpent Ward's on the high ground. They want to go for it. I don't know, there's very little that Forgotten Fury are going to be able to do about this tier 3 tower. I think they're going to be able to save their racks at the very least. I don't know. They dropped the Glyph, and now they're going to silence up Kunkka, but he's only going to take a little bit of damage. 4-staff away. We'll keep him relatively safe. Vengeful Spirit is going to come back in. And, well, for now, it's just kind of a very awkward standoff. If they want to go into this tier 3 tower, they get a nice double turn onto 2, but they're not going to follow that up with much of anything as they drop the boat as well as the X marks onto the Skywrath Mage, but defensive swap will keep them safe as I'm lagging out here. Skywrath Mage ult going to land on literally nothing as they're going to lose their 2 supports off of the bat. Now Blow Your Brain wants some more. The center ultimate's being deployed mostly as just a preventative measure as the tier 3 tower is already down. Morphling kind of just standing around here, but he just doesn't do anything. He's right clicking for about 150. But that's about all the Morphling can do at this point. The Adaptive Strike isn't really stinging that much, and all the wave for him is probably his biggest teamfight contribution. For now, they're going to be pretty happy with how that went. Now they're going to sustain the smoke. It's going to be broken almost instantly. The Kunkka is coming through, and the Batrider is going to be X-marked back. It breaks the smoke, and he might be in a lot of trouble here. They blink, they're looking for him. The Firefly is coming through as this fight is going to break out one way or another as it starts out with dooming of Forgotten Fury, and now he's going to be brought down before the fight begins, and now they bring back the Skywrath Mage. That's a dieback going out from Skywrath Mage after that last fight. Defensive disruption goes the way of the Shadow Demon. Now Joey not looking too healthy inside the trees. The level death just doing so much, and 3 kills going the way of Moscow 5. Off of a very awkward initiation coming out from Forgotten Fury's stack. They wanted to make something happen there, and in the end, that X mark on the Batrider just kind of caught them by surprise, and in the end, they were privy to the fact, and that extra flying vision really coming in huge. They're going to commit to the melee barracks, and, well, I think they're going to be able to get it with 3 heroes down. The Morphling and Vengeful Spirit can't defend against this at all. This is going to be our first lane of racks. Sub 30 minutes going the way of Moscow 5, and, well, with their lineup, I think they can play this game for as long as they want to be honest. I mean, the Morphling is going to be semi-threatening in the late game, but the Lincoln Sphere really isn't going to be an end-all, be-all for him, and Doom is still going to come out. They have the Lasso, as well as to follow up with the Doom. Pretty much just Blink 4-staff Lasso, with the 4-staffs coming out from the 2 supports to get the Batrider back into the clutches of the rest of their team, and they're looking really strong in this game. No GGs have been called out just yet. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what this game means for the Gigabyte Challenge number 7, but I think it might be just straight up best of 1 elimination, although I can't be sure. Daedalus is going to be the next item of choice for our Kunkka. Completes that one up for himself, and the damage is going to be pretty hard for Forgotten Fury stack to deal with. This Skywrath Mage and Vengeful Spirit just dies so quickly whenever they get brought back. I believe that was an X mark on the Batrider just saying back to base to pick up his BKB, and that is the case. Even though inside the river, the X effect is a little bit lackluster. Yep, well, as unfortunate as the lag is, we are going to get back into this game, and there is one more tier 2 tower remaining on the side of Forgotten Fury stack, and, well, Mafia 5 might decide to go up there, but in the end, I don't think it really matters. They have pretty much whatever they need. They have damage coming out from the Kunkka, they have some good utility from the Doom, and as long as they Doom the Morphling, or the Centaur, or the Viper, pretty much anybody on the core department, the supports are going to die too fast to really do anything, and the Batrider is looking for blood, eating its way through the trees with that Firefly. In the end, not going to be necessary as nobody's inbound. Scarlet Mage is the closest one, but what is that really going to do? They're waiting in the wings. They drop the Serpent Wards, and Tier 3 Tower is under heavy siege. It's on the back of Forgotten Fury stack to do something as they swap in the Batrider here. They're not going to lose the Scarlet Mages. The Morphling's actually doing a decent amount of damage towards Nexus as well as the Shadow Shaman, but he's going to die in return. The Aether Shock going to be enough. And the Centaur, he's doomed up on the backlines. He's also going to fall as the Vengeful Spirit. The K-Ro going to be brought down by one more auto attack coming out from Throne, and that's a godlike spree. The X-Mark him, disrupt him up. The Torrent is going to come through onto Joy. Oh, actually it's not, but the X-Mark going to be bringing back into the rest of the team, and it's going to be a full 5-man wipe, and GG called out by Forgotten Fury. The only person who died was the Shadow Shaman, and honestly, with the words on the ground, it doesn't matter much at all. So that is going to round up this best of 1 between these two teams. We'll have some more games coming up shortly. But yeah, still more Gigabyte Challenge number 7, and I'm glad that you stuck around for HeflaTV 1 in order to watch them. I've been Grandis V, and if you like the casting you see here, you can follow us on HeflaTV on Twitter as well as Facebook. The VODs will be uploaded to youtube.com/HeflaMoke sometime after the game. Expect them at the latest by tomorrow. So if you want to share the games, that's the place where you can find them. So thanks for watching. GG to both teams.